Everybody.
Oh wait, I cussed in the first 30 seconds. That was bad.
It's fine, I can bleep it.
Oh, okay.
You didn't say that. You actually said magic pixie dust.
Sick.
Cool.
Awesome.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Down the Basement. Your standard hosts, Hassan, Patrick, and Will are here. And we have a brand new person. This is our first guest of this season. I've decided that we're going to do seasons. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
High tech.
Yeah, you're welcome. And but yeah, this is Pat. This is Michael. I stared at you. I saw Patrick, and I already.
I'm in the line of sight.
All right, it's okay. We're like 10 seconds in. New take.
New
Easy.
take.
Easy.
1, 2, 3. Hello, everybody. Okay, so.
What's it like being a descendant of barium?
Yeah. What the fuck?
A descendant.
Yeah.
Oh,
Michael Barium.
yeah,
Born of the atoms.
Oh, I was just one letter off from
Yeah.
that.
Why
You
is
know.
that the worst atom?
Well, I don't know about that one. I came in here. I was like, you know, I need a job. So he's like, okay, I got you. You can work for me. I come in with money. So
I like the cut of your jib, Barium.
I don't even know if he looked at my last name. He probably did, and he's just like, I told him I was an ex-student of his, but I don't know.
Oh.
I don't think he remembered.
I have a story of like on the way here when I was late. So I was late because I forgot the tripod and I turned around, and apparently they have like an opera or something going on in the theater next door, and a guy cuts me off, pulls into the parking lot, and it was a Rolls Royce with the license plate that says Mr. Sexy on it.
Dude, yes.
He gets to cut you off.
Oh,
with
yeah.
that.
He's got that confidence.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so this is our friend. This is Michael. He was #1 Widowmaker for a little while.
Season 5, I think it was OVERWATCH 2. Yeah, rank 1 overbuff Widowmaker for a little bit. Yeah, that was
Hell yeah, brother.
That's
that
crazy.
was a feat and a half. But yeah, that was fun.
That's insane. How do you like balance that shit with? Like,
Yeah,
other
no,
things?
unironically.
That's a okay. So I would go to work. I would come home.
Oh, so work is still like a part of it.
Oh,
Gotcha.
absolutely. Yeah. It's not like I give up everything.
But like,
Okay.
imagine how bad all the other Widowmakers feel, right? Like they got their ass
Dude.
absolutely
Ooh.
fucking handed to them by a full-time PhD student.
Fuck yeah, brother.
You know, funny enough, there is some guy on Ladder. His name is Physics PhD. His
No
in-game
shot.
name. Yeah.
And he's not a physics PhD.
No, he is a physics
Okay.
PhD. And it's funny because
Wow.
like I remember seeing him one time and I was like, "Are you really a physics student?" He's like, "Yeah, I am a PhD student." I'm like, "Okay, there's another one of us on Ladder. We exist. We don't just stay in the basement doing work all day."
Well. Well.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
but
not-
you were
so
saying,
yeah,
though?
yeah, you work and then
Yeah, so work, come home, and at the time, I had this rigorous sort of aim training schedule going on. So I
Oh,
would
damn.
come home before I'd even boot up Overwatch. I would just, aim train on Kovacs for like hour, 2 hours, just going through all the different routines. And then after that, I'd go into Overwatch, and
Then it's time to play the game.
then it's time to click on heads, yes.
Dude,
Wow.
wow.
Does aim training like actually help?
So there's a lot of debate about this,
Mm.
and I'm on the side that it doesn't really help, but it does create a good foundation in mouse control, and that's important. So, like from game to game, there's different hitboxes for characters, and the movement speeds are different. So you also need to take that into consideration
the
when it comes to aim
DPI.
training. Yeah. So in that sense, I argue it doesn't really help, but it does help in terms of mouse control and how you can adjust the speeds and how you need to track. So I think overall it does help with the foundational skills, but in terms of like one-to-one, I don't think so.
Damn.
Yeah.
nuts. So
So I'm just bad.
yeah, we're all just bad. We're all just bad. But I'm interested. So you went from top 500, top #1 even Widowmaker, and then you won a championship recently.
Yeah, so I used to play, as you guys know, for UCLA's esports team for a little bit. And most of us graduated. Some of us just quit the team. and some old friends from that team decided to get together for this tournament. So we all came back and we're like, you know what, let's try this tournament. It's a small tournament. I think there were like 6-7 teams only, but we're like, let's try it out. You know, it's been a while since we've all played together. And yeah, last week we won our championship game. We went undefeated this entire season, so that was really fun.
Congrats!
Thank you.
So we have an actual gamer in our midst, not the fucking degenerate that is who grinds Age of Empires and League of Legends, who grinds League of Legends like immediately after the podcast is over. This motherfucker is online playing a game of League, and I'm online playing a game of League.
But we've been grinding.
So, I guess like I hit Emerald last week, so you and I are the same. I think.
Yeah. Overwatch, League is just
I think we're kind of the
we
same.
dragged him to League.
I've been playing a lot of League recently.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, actually, one of the questions that I wrote down that I had for you is, why on earth have you let Hassan drag you into the depths of hell?
It wasn't even me.
That is League of Legends.
You know, I think actually Blizzard did that. I'm just so tired of Overwatch. So I was like, you know what? I need a new game.
Wow.
Well played.
So you've got two Blizzard fanboys here.
And at what point of the process were you like, yeah, definitely not Heroes of the Storm, though?
You know, actually,
when they stopped developing it?
Yeah, there's no support for that game.
What do you mean? Everything's fine in the Nexus.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he's top 50 Genji for sure, but like in
Oh
HUD
god, my Genji's bronze. There's no way, it's so bad.
So yeah, League. How did you get into League?
Yeah.
You know, I think my brother was probably the bigger.
Yeah, I knew it. There's no way it was me.
My brother plays so much League, and for years he's been doing this. And it's funny because like the last few years he's been trying to recruit more of us to go play with him, because really only other person was just 2 people in our Discord who play with him, and then he's been trying to get more and more people to come because he doesn't like Overwatch. So he's like, you know, League's gonna be my game. I'm gonna be really good at this. I want you guys to join me. And you know, I'm kind of getting tired of Overwatch a little bit, so I was like, I'll try out League, see how this goes, and I've been enjoying it. It's been fun, especially when you're with friends.
Yeah,
it's so much more fun.
Yeah. And then I play Gangplank solo queue and just seethe at my screen and win games. I had the most cursed game. I held everybody hostage because I refused to lose. So
why is it that every League story that you have always starts with "I had the most cursed game"?
Because I play a shit ton of games. Story. Because when I win them really easily, they're boring games. I don't talk about those. It's just like, I fucking deleted a guy top lane. I went 10-0 and I won the. Who cares?
So this is why I mentally put an asterisk with like, it's always a fun time when you're playing with friends because of situations like that.
So this is one of my favorite. I actually won this game, but I think I caused legitimate trauma on both my teammates and my enemy, because we had bot lane, Soraka locks in. She's like, I'll be your support. Don't worry about it. And then our other bot laner was a Singed whose name was I'm not trying anymore. And all he would do was like, he refused to go bot. He would just randomly run in between all of the lanes and basically give kills to the enemy team. So he was literally intentionally feeding. And what ended up happening is that I wrote but I kept he would feed my lane, but the guy who was playing against was absolute trash, and I would kill him and then get shutdown gold. And then I would go mid and then get shutdown gold from mid. And then I would go bot and get shutdown gold from bot. So I was just exponentially scaling on Gangplank. And I wrote to my teammates, I'm like, just stay alive. I will 1v9 if I have to. I'm not going to lose. And I dragged the game out for 55 minutes. And then I won the game.
At that point, you truly are fighting your own teammates
That's
too,
what
you know?
I'm saying. I think I caused mental trauma.
So I think Sun Tzu said this. Some games aren't worth winning.
It was.
That's fucking great.
It's so good. Oh man, but yeah, League is awesome. You should start playing.
I would be fine with playing with you guys. I don't want to. I don't want to play.
He doesn't sound very convinced.
Well, I think it's the over the hump of like, oh man, this is just like HOTS, and it's like, it's so much better.
Yeah, there's just so much other stuff going on. I don't understand what items are, or like how gold works.
Yeah, that one time we played bot together was fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
I just look at the recommended item and I'm like, okay, that
It's
looks
usually
good.
pretty good.
I'm building that
usually
one.
really good, unless you're like playing very specific matchups.
You can also download this. This will maybe work for you. An add-on that will like automatically have like an item set.
Look
that
at
you
me
can go
smile.
for. Yeah.
You heard add-on.
Yeah. Broken game.
You can see your FPS decrease with the add-ons too. So like it really feels like you're home.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Well,
And it's
yeah.
also a 20-year-old game, so you're even more at home. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we gotta up those numbers a little bit though.
you know, everything ages slowly. You would know.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
So yeah, how's your week been? What have you done?
I've been getting blasted by allergies. It's great.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how this happens. Like the last couple of years I've lived here, absolutely no allergy season for me. And then like you guys saw me on Monday, I was like,
Yeah.
I was barely functioning. Jesus Christ.
It's rough.
Yeah. Let's see. I feel like work-wise, I am at a mental boom for sure. It's so hard because I work on one system and it's like, okay, I'll like on paper you turn the knobs and then you get there and then it doesn't. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll just put that one down and then I'll work on a different thing and then I turn those knobs and I'm stuck again. So like PhDs are like easy, I think though. So I get there. Fuck.
I mean, you can get to top Widowmaker if you want to.
Dude,
It's
so
doable.
true.
You can balance your work life like that.
Dude, hell yeah. Is there like a Yumi equivalent in Overwatch? Maybe
Yumi.
you can carry me there.
Who's Yumi? I don't know you.
Oh, okay.
She's the little cat that's in a book. Have you seen her?
Oh,
It's a little-
that's the support that like stays on the
You
other person's
literally-
shoulder
you
or
literally
something.
don't even have to move.
Oh,
So I'll just be a little backpack to your Widowmaker.
Whoa, it's like time passed.
There was no cut there at all. What are you talking about?
But yeah, so I think Mercy would probably be the closest because it's
Oh
like
my gosh.
you're a constant pocket to someone. You're always
Okay.
sticking to them.
So here's how I know I'm really bad. Because I was like, guys, well, back when I played, I tried to play a lot when it was really big for me. So that was like my first year of undergrad. My friend was like, he was like a master's like DPS player. And we wouldn't play ranked together because he's too good. But even when he made a Smurf and we were trying to like, prog through gold, I was like, okay, I'll just play Ryan. I'll just play Mercy. The non-aim things, I'll be totally okay. And like, I'm just like dead all the time. It's so hard.
Were you pressing shift on cooldown and just charging in as
No,
Ryan?
no.
Okay.
I was not. I've had. I will say
that's the
though.
thing. People
I
get
know.
upset about that.
I will say I feel like I've definitely like lost more like earth shatter or like shatter, is that what they're called, like
Yeah.
mirrors, than I've won. But I do remember the ones I win. So
Yeah.
it's tough.
The best one's when you jump off of a high ground and you shatter midair and
Oh,
you're just
fuck.
like coming down like this and you hit the ground. Those are great.
I
can't wait
enjoy
to get
playing
that someday.
Overwatch when I was playing with you and the crew. I just think I can't play that game alone, and as a result, I'm just never going to get any better.
You played like Ash or something?
I played Ash
Okay.
with you. I played some Ash, and I played I think I played Soldier and Junkrat, but I was never. I couldn't. I don't know.
It's such a shame. I feel like, specifically, I mean, in terms of the development of shifting from like Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, and then like basically not delivering on any of the cool PvE stuff. Like I don't know what the like esports scene has like looked like for Overwatch very much, but like I don't know
Well, I
what
mean,
your perspective is.
Overwatch League just disbanded about a month ago.
Yeah, I was gonna ask,
Yeah.
so, but you had this tournament, right? But it was set up by. I think you told me before it was set up by a previous team.
The tournament we just won,
Mm-hmm.
that was so San Francisco Shock was the Overwatch League professional team, and the organization that helps run that team was holding this private, I think it was called Full Squad Gaming or something. They were holding this tournament and we decided to enter that. This was their first sort of small private post Overwatch League tournament they had. So yeah.
So I'm just, I guess I'm more familiar with like the Smash scene where we don't really, there's no such thing as a scene from from Nintendo, and they probably will never really be because they absolutely hate Super Smash Bros. Melee. But like, you know, the community made their own tournaments. Do you think that's like the route that Overwatch is going to take, or do you think the community isn't there?
Well, no, absolutely. I mean, there are community-held tournaments. This kind of was, in a sense, a community-held one. There was one we also did 2 years back when I was on the esports team here. We went to Bakersfield, and we won that one, too. That was really cool. It was an in-house LAN. So, wait, should I keep going?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So that was an in-house LAN. It was a small community-hosted one. But since Overwatch League disbanded, Blizzard came out with the OWCS, Overwatch
Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike, exactly.
The
It's
game
like
is saved.
it's this new scene that is now open to everyone. You don't have to be a contracted pro, so
Sick.
anyone can enroll into this huge tournament. And then, of course, like
That's like the VCS, right?
what's VCS?
It's like the same thing, but like Valorant.
Oh, yes, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty similar. So anyone can join in on this, and you have all these ex-professionals coming in and making their own teams from across the world, and it's really cool. And they, of course, they have their regions for international play too. But it's still like it's nice that they opened up the opportunity for regular Joe Schmoes to try to make it to the pro scene, but it's still pretty heavily saturated with the ex-pros, and more often than not, those are the ones moving forward and winning. So, so there still is a competitive scene, but I think with the Overwatch League disbanding, you'll see more of these community-hosted ones.
Because I think it's going to be really good. I think one of the main things that I really disliked, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure actually now. Did Overwatch also have the whole like franchise team thing where if the team was within the Overwatch League, they basically couldn't get regulated? Or is that just a Valorant thing? I can't remember now.
I don't think there were regulations, but there were different tiers with the Overwatch League. So
No, I mean not regulated, relegated.
yeah,
I'm an idiot.
sorry. Did I say okay? Yeah, relegated. That's what I
Yeah.
meant, like soccer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or football. I'm sorry.
Get that
But
shit right.
yeah. But yeah. So there were teams, and then tier 1 is usually, or sorry, tier 3 is like the collegiate scene, and then if you were good enough, you would get invited to go tier 2, and then those teams were like the AAA teams of the pros, and then from there you can get called up to tier 1 and Overwatch League at the time. But I don't remember ever seeing a team being relegated down.
Yeah.
If anything, they'll just be like, oh, we're cutting this player because you're not good enough, and they might go back to a different tier if they find a team. Or
So because I know like Valorant currently had this huge scandal. I'm not sure if you guys heard or like followed along. I think Sentinels was the main issue, where Sentinels so the way that they do it in Valorant is the top team, like the top tier, you get a 3-year contract, 3 or 5-year contract. I think it's 3. And then you basically are there. You're franchised for 3 years, so you can't get kicked out.
I see.
But the problem is the seeds are determined by the playoffs that lead up to the tournament. So, and Sentinels was the team that effectively won. And I think I don't remember who came in second place. I think it was I know Disguised Toasts team came in second place. But Sentinels ran out of money, and then the team disbanded. So the seat was open, and instead of giving it to the second place team, which is what the Sentinels even said, like, just take it, I don't care. The Riot said no, they're not gonna change the rules. They just had like one less team this year for the for promotion. It was nuts.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it was like a whole problem recently. And I also know that, you know, same with League, where TSM sold their spot. Or was it CLG?
TSM got exploded because their main funders were FTX, if you've heard of them before.
Yeah, I do remember that. Was it TSM or was it CLG that sold their position?
So CLG sold their spot.
CLG, yeah.
TSM, I guess, like by force, kind of
they
sort of.
just don't exist.
It's either like, I mean, their seat in the league was like 10 mil, take it or leave it, and they're like, yeah, we're taking it.
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah.
Man, esports, they're sick, but they're also treated like tech companies for whatever fucking reason.
There's just not enough money, at least for
But
Blizzard.
then like there's also like the reverse problem of like if you have too much capital in the league, it's also very weird. Like League having a lot of venture capital, And so you kind of have this weird situation where there was like a big booming period, and now there's like a big slump, especially after TSM just like getting exploded and having to leave. People went from like, oh, you play on Academy, which is like, I guess the like tier 2 equivalent. You would be paid like pretty high 5-figure salary and then like have room and board fully. And now like with, you know, VCs all like leaving the scene, it's like 2K a month at best, and like room and board, figure that out yourself for like Academy players. So it's like insane swings. I don't understand.
Again, this is where I think yeah, I said this in the episode 1. I still think that like CS:GO just has it right. They've been going on for years and years and years, and those teams are doing fine.
Didn't like Russia invest billions of
dollars? Russia even invested billions. It was nuts.
There was like this private oligarch or something that
threw
in $1 billion into a team. Right.
Counter-Strike, they got this. CS:GO. Well, I guess not CS2. I haven't played it yet.
I tried it, and it's just, I think it was still buggy when I first played it on release, so it wasn't all that great. But it's just
it's
not
interesting.
my game.
You'd think how central it is to Korean infrastructure that they would pour money into it too.
I don't really know if they have like a top team right now. I know there was one from Taiwan that was pretty good. Yeah, I think so. But I don't think there's any other big ones that are like that play that game very much. Anyway, random. But yeah. What about you?
Me, my week?
Your week?
It's been fine. It's been good. Decent stuff going on at work. Exciting. Maybe laser in a few months. I don't know. Things are going all right. Yeah. I did find a very alarming headline though.
I have my own headline that will come up after this.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys are familiar at all with the cicada cycles.
Yes.
In North America here.
Yes.
Well, this year is kind of forming up to be a convergence of two different broods of cicada.
Yeah, I'm excited. I actually really want to go see it.
Yeah, so there's one that is on a 13-year life cycle, right? They are in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one that's on a 17-year life cycle, right? And they're both emerging from the ground.
So for those
year.
of us who definitely know like the definition of broods and like have very good understanding of cicadas,
okay,
like,
let me,
you could maybe just give like the audience like a quick summary if like they don't know.
Yeah, I can tell you this. So
yeah, let's let the Bugman do it.
The Bugman.
Yeah.
So cicadas are really weird in that they when they lay their eggs, they effectively hibernate, and they're kind of like on a clock. And what they do is a brood is a type of insects who exist in broods are ones that like the moment they hatch, they get out, they fuck super hard, and then they lay their eggs again. And then
they just go back to sleep?
No, the adults will usually like eat food, scavenge, and then like and then the way that their cycle goes, like they'll die in the same region and they'll fertilize the ground, and then trees grow, and then their eggs are pretty deep underground again, and then they slowly come out. The problem is all the eggs hatch effectively at the same time, and they're very good at having sex. So like you'll have literally trillions of cicadas that emerge simultaneously within like maybe a few hours to a few days. And it's very important to a lot of ecosystems because birds have actually, like bird species kind of know in the region when cicadas come out. So like you'll see like large flocks of birds in the area that like sort of congregate. And it's like a very important ecological niche. And I remember there was one time when there was a bit too much climate change and one of the broods hatched too early and there was no birds in the region. And then they had like way too many the next time because there was no predators in the area. But this year, 2 of them are converging and I'm very excited.
Yes.
So I think we're expecting like multiple trillions upon trillions of cicadas.
Yeah, gigabug.
So that seems alarming.
Yeah.
So hell divers, anyone?
They destroy. They destroy crops. By the way, they like chew through everything in their path.
Nice.
Yeah. So the reason that
they're also this big.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So the reason that this, this time we're paying attention is because of the convergence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you call it a brood war?
Potentially.
you.
Potentially. Yeah.
back to Blizzard.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll stop.
So, but this time they're also, not only are there two different, like emergences of cicadas happening this year, but there's also something maybe a little more sinister that's in the dirt this time. It's a fungus.
Is it turning the cicadas gay?
So
brother.
What it does, right, is an infected cicada. Like, the theory is either the fungus exists on the soil, so when they emerge, they get infected by it, or it's like actually in the eggs somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So they like are born infected by this fungus, right?
It's like zombie cicadas.
So what they do is they come out, right, and for the beginning of their life cycle, everything's good, everything's normal, right? The fungus not affecting things too much.
Here.
Yeah. So they become adults, and about 10 days later, a week later or so, their abdomen cracks open.
Oh God.
And the entire like back third of their body gets encrusted in this white chalky shit, and then their genitals fall off. Yeah.
Why do you know this?
Because I read the article.
Oh, okay.
How did you get the article?
It was just on the internet. I was looking for stuff.
Okay.
So essentially, and after this happens, right, they don't die, right? They're kind of just like shells of what they once were. So in some sense, they actually are zombie cicadas,
Yeah.
right? And after this kind of like process happens and they get kind of like coated in this white shit and they aren't really what they used to be because, their genitals fell off so they can't mate anymore. They like continue doing normal cicada things, like trying to attract mates,
But then,
but they're infected. So whenever like a male cicada,
but they have
Oh
no
my
genitals,
God.
though.
whenever a male cicada
Oh
has it,
no.
they're like infecting female cicadas with this
Yeah.
fungus because it's like an STI essentially.
But they don't have genitals, though, right?
Yeah, but they still like are trying to do normal cicada stuff. So they're just going around trying to find mates. They're like making the loud cicada sound to attract females, right? And then if they don't find any females in the vicinity, they act like females in order to attract other males, other male cicadas.
You were right.
Oh my
You were right.
So the headline was something like this: hypersexual zombie cicadas that are also gay.
Hell yeah.
I'd click on that link.
And I just like to point out that you were both entirely correct.
That's so sick.
Hell yeah,
Put
brother.
us together and we know the American
Yeah,
mind.
exactly.
we know,
Hey,
we know what
Hey, who
people
else
care
gonna get the
about.
gay zombies? Hell yeah, brother. That's actually crazy. Oh man.
So yeah, we've got hypersexual gay cicadas just zombieing around. And
That's
stuff,
so
yeah.
sick.
You think this is between the two different breeds?
I think that it has I don't know exactly where it's been observed so far, but I would imagine that it could infect both of them.
Does this scale
And if-
upward to birds that like eat them?
So the article
Probably not.
the article kind of mentions this, and apparently like the impacts aren't exactly known. They're not certain if infected cicadas will end up being toxic to the wildlife that consumes them. The researcher, I can't remember the name of them, but they mentioned like just make sure if you're a person, don't eat infected cicadas.
Who
Sick.
eats
Cicadas?
So
cicadas?
I don't know who is, but that's what they said.
The thing is, like, cicadas are I like bugs. They're absolutely fucking terrifying up close.
They're
Nat
huge.
has one that's like dead
Oh.
because she like hangs them up,
Mm-hmm.
and
Hangs up a
They're
dead
big.
cicada.
like she has like butterflies and stuff,
Oh, I see. Okay.
and other bugs.
Sure,
but like
sure.
she has a cicada, and it's like the size of my hand, wingspan wise.
Oh, yeah.
And the body is huge,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
have massive fucking. They're scary. They're like little
Yeah.
fighter jets.
Yeah, they're big.
That's gross.
They're big boys.
What causes fungus though?
I'm not sure.
Oh, they don't. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I didn't really. Look
I mean,
into
they're
the
pretty
origin
deep.
of
Like
it.
they're usually like pretty like deep underground and like surrounded by a lot of dead leaves. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
surprised that a fungus eventually got to them. But I don't know. I have my own news story,
Yeah.
and I need your phone for this. Could you please surrender it?
Oh boy, what do you need?
Just go to the messages I sent you on Twitter.
Oh god.
X.
Boo.
Fuck you, Elon.
I don't even use it.
You know, if you go on the computer, not on the phone, and you type in x.com, it will take you to twitter.com. I'm not fucking with you. It's still called Twitter.
Do you think they'll ever change that back?
Okay, so I just play this video.
Yeah, make it loud. So pause for a second. Audio listeners, this is Anderson Cooper.
That's right.
Talking to a man. If you can have it close to your microphone so people can actually, I'll just play the audio. I'll play the audio for the podcast.
Okay.
Okay, so just start from the beginning.
Blank range. As you know, the Kenosha Professional Police Association, which is a police union, they said that late today said that Jacob was armed with a knife, didn't comply, that he had fought with police and put an officer in a headlock. I know you aren't able to say much about this, but were you aware of this? Is that accurate?
Some people say Brussels sprouts taste good.
I don't get the reference.
I hate Brussels sprouts.
You don't want to talk about this.
The hero we deserve.
Oh no!
Wait, was that real? Was that
It's
live?
real.
That's
It
real?
was live. Yeah, the guy
That's
was recording with his
crazy.
phone. Like, it's nuts.
Dude, poor guy
Oh
was
my God.
blasted out of his mind.
It's like, Brussels sprouts sound
tweet
good.
Yeah,
says- could you read the tweet?
Yes.
It's
So
like- it's
so this is from Keck Magician on Twitter. I mean X. Sorry, excuse me. Pardon me. The tweet reads, "Nervous because of TV interview." Next line: swallow 7 grams of mushrooms.
Oh my lord.
Oh. Damn.
It's so good.
That's so bad. I mean, maybe this is the best like PR that Brussels sprouts has ever gotten. Though that's crazy.
he kind of shit on him though. It's like, I fucking hate those things.
But now you're like, now you want to try them to see what it's about, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Brussels sprout enjoyer. Big proponent of Brussels sprout.
Yeah, Anderson fucking Cooper's face though. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
the really slow like.
The smile.
Like,
Yeah,
what?
even he
Did I
could-
just understand what you said? Sorry.
Well played.
Have you
I
ever-
would have been stunned luck for sure.
Have you guys ever gotten into like the rabbit hole of looking up at like those TV news station fails on YouTube,
Oh,
like those
yes.
compilations?
Yeah.
I haven't seen compilations. My favorite though is like more than on one occasion back when I used Reddit. Like the main thing I used to see was like the weather reporters like trying to like make the screen work, and it just like never worked, and they just like are progressively getting more frustrated and pretending like they zoomed in on the spot they definitely wanted to zoom into.
I think my favorite one is there was a news article, not an article. They were showing a video of this on the news, and some kids took in a disabled pig to kind of nurture it a little bit, and the news anchor guy, he was reading the prompt, right, and the pig's name was Chris P. Bacon.
No shot.
Yes.
Dude,
and he
yes.
lost it. And they're just showing this like disabled pig trying to walk around on like the roller wheels, and he's just losing. You cannot keep a straight face. Crispy bacon. Oh, that was great. You can check that out if you haven't.
I mean, the classic Middle Eastern is memory TV. Have you never seen this? It's like the two Middle Eastern guys fighting.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
So it's this Arabic news channel that is incredibly reactionary, but has the most psychotic news hosts and other people on. And there was these two guys. I don't even remember the context. I think one is, I don't know what it was about. They just hate each other, and they start fighting, and they start picking up the table and like pushing it back and forth, and the table literally breaks apart because it's a shitty set, and the guy in the middle is like, "Sirs, please calm down." They also have they have like this one guy who's a sheikh who will answer your calls during Ramadan, and you can ask him questions about like what happened. And there's this legendary clip where a guy calls in and he's like, Sheikh, I have a story to tell you. It's like really important. I need to know if my fast is still allowed. You know,
I know this one.
It's so fucking funny. So he's like, yeah, okay, so
It's too funny, man. You have to watch it.
It's so funny. So it's in Arabic, but he basically says, yeah, so today I slipped and fell and I ate a whole shawarma sandwich, 4 slices of apple, and about a gallon of water. It's my fast allowed.
Well, what'd he say? Poor guy.
It was the Anderson Cooper face.
Yeah, he's just like, no. Turns off. It's one of my favorite clips. The American equivalent is that one goth lady from Austin, Texas. Have you seen her? She's like the original live streamer. I can show the clip, but
I think I've seen.
Yeah, she would like answer phone calls from people, but like this is 1990s. She was like full goth, and she has the most like Austin accent, and she would answer phone calls, and then people would go like, "You're a skank. You're like an evil person." Da 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 da. Kid would call, and she's like, "What?" He's like, "What kind of music do you like?" And then she says like, whatever it was back in the day, Evanescence or some shit. And then the kid would say, "I listen to Limp Bizkit," and she turns off the phone. And then the kid called back, and he's like, "Don't turn off the phone just because I listened to Limp Bizkit." He's like, "Oh, that wasn't me. That was my producer. He can do it too." And he's like, "Well, the reason why I like that," she turned off the phone again. Wonderful. There definitely wasn't a cut or anything. Anyway, we had some mic technical difficulties where they just shut off. You were telling us a story about shawarma.
Oh God, yeah. Okay, so we receive a message from our esteemed colleague Michael, and the message includes information about free shawarma, right, from a new shawarma place that's opening up in Westwood, right? And I am over the moon excited. I'm so pumped. I'm like, I'm going to get free shawarma today. It's going to be sick. It's going to be the best day ever. The weather report, fantastic. No chance of rain, no problem, right? It's a great day. It's Friday. Having a great time, right? So the three of us, Hassan and I, because Michael went earlier in the day, after work, we decide, you know what? It's shawarma time. We're going to have a great time. We're going to go get shawarma. Very happy. So the post that Michael relayed to us indicated that the shawarma place was like inside of one of the businesses that it like exists in Westwood. So like I'm already confused. I'm like, how does it live in a Target? How does this happen? I'm very lost.
It's next
right?
to the Starbucks.
Yeah, it's like right next inside the Target next to the Starbucks. It's crazy. But we get there and it turns out it's like a truck. It's like a shawarma truck, which is awesome. Very excited, right? There's a bit of a line, right? And Hassan drives us out there. We hop out the car and we like get in line and we're like, we're going to get shawarma. And then this is where we all realized that the weather report that I had mentioned earlier is a fucking lie. And it starts to rain. And then it starts to rain harder. And it starts to rain harder. And we've placed our orders for our shawarma. And there's no rhyme or reason to what's happening at the shawarma truck.
I also want to add that like when we got there, the line was very big.
Mm-hmm.
And when you tell the guy, like, "Oh, I'm here for the free shawarma," it's the combo of like, well, he looks upset because, you know, obviously he's handing you free food. Fine, fair.
Mm-hmm.
But also you get no receipt.
Yeah.
So like everyone in line wasn't really in line. And also, I do believe that the rain didn't pick up until after.
Oh, that's
Yeah, no.
right. That's right.
It simultaneously, yeah, it was like drizzling, and we arrived, and I illegally parked in a red line.
That's right.
That's right.
And I remember also to add to this, not only was there no receipt, you would tell him, I'm here for the shawarma, and he asks you to show him if you actually are following his Instagram.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
You did that, and then he would look you dead in the eye and goes like, "We only have beef, and it might be ready in 15 minutes."
Like, brother, I got all day.
Yeah, yeah, free shawarma. We're waiting. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
That's the price for admission. So.
And then it starts to pour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, I feel like the funniest thing to me that happened was, like, so basically there was, like, no semblance of a real line, and people are still flowing in, and it's, like, still stacking, right? And I think basically whenever they have one hot and ready, they just, like, send it out with, like, no rhyme or reason to, like, oh, did you get here before that group or whatever? And so, like, as long as, like, you're in line, you'll just, like, get the handoff and piece it. And that's what Hassan was able
Was
to
that
pull
what
off.
you were like? When you
No,
were
I
there?
actually had to pay for mine. The
Oof.
guy who
Wait,
was- yeah, I know, it was weird. When I went there and I told him about these, he's like, I have no idea what this is. It's not free. And I'm like, what? And at that point, I already told him what I wanted. I was like, okay, here, whatever.
you got finessed.
I did get finessed, but
Oh, man.
So that's why for him the shawarma was shit tier.
it was so bad.
So he's like on
It
top.
was so-
It
like,
wasn't.
on top of you having to pay for it. It wasn't good.
yeah, no, it was terrible.
Mine
I think
was
it
like a
one of the worst
7 out of
shawarmas.
10.
No,
thing that should have been
Whoa.
free being not free, gotta taste
Exactly.
the
I
worst.
think it goes to 0. I mean, if I had to pay for that shawarma, I would have said 0. But I didn't pay for it.
Anyway,
Okay,
you
yeah,
were
so-
able to, like, saunter up into the line, and he was like, oh, yeah, like, you showed me your thing, hand off. And then Hassan's like, I'm out of here.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's not fair.
He just disappears into the night.
I said, okay, I'll wait for you guys. And then he said, I need another 15 minutes. And I was like, I gotta go walk a dog. And then I left you guys.
Abandoned yet again.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Will and I, we're there. We are warriors. We are trying to get what is our right as shawarma enjoyers.
Hell yeah.
Right? The free shawarma. We have followed this Instagram page. I've opened Instagram for the first time in like 3 months just for this. I'm going to get my shawarma, right?
Free. Land of the free, baby.
Yep. And then,
Home of the brave.
you know, we sit there for probably 20 minutes
At least.
in the rain, and it's like starting to really like kind of do its thing, right? And the guy just sticks his head out the window and he's like, we're out of shawarma.
Which is crazy. Because, like, you have a line of, like, at least 10 people outside.
Yeah.
And, like, he's accruing the wrath of, like, multiple other people.
Yep.
Because there's a guy in line, and he's like, dude, I felt so bad for this dude. He, like, he, like, came over. He's like, oh, I was, like, in line. I wasn't sure if, like, you know, if people were waiting, if they got their order or not. I, like, drove all the way down from, like, wherever. It, like, took me an hour to get here.
Yeah, drove
And-
like an hour.
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
even know
yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that, and I was mentally, I'm like, dude, that's a sad story, but also, like,
you
ain't no
drove
way.
an hour for
Yeah.
free shawarma.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
nuts.
dude, the amount of gas you
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
equal towards-
Yeah.
Free,
there
though.
there was also a guy that was like on a date and they like didn't do the free shawarma thing. They like
They paid for
they
it.
paid for something else on the menu. And they're like, yeah, we like paid for this, right? Like, can we like get our food? And he's like, no. We're
Yeah.
like, out
Did
of
they reimburse
shit.
him?
Well, the problem is
We
also,
left before that resolved, I think.
yeah, the dude was getting real mad.
Yeah.
But the problem was also, like, he could have played around it, in my opinion, in the sense of, like, oh, like, okay, so I don't want to do the free thing. I'll order, like, off the menu, so, like, if I pay you, like, it'll be, like, a little bit faster. It's, like, kind of sort of the conversation.
Oh,
right.
is that what it is?
Yeah. And then the guy's like, okay, cool. Like, what would you like? And he's like, could I get, like, 2 beef shawarma? I.e., the only item that is exactly the free item the entire day, which is like, okay. Well, I feel for you, but also you're flipping out right now, so I'm gonna get out of here. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So we left shawarma-less, and so we relay this information to Hassan, and his response is, oh man, that kind of sucks. Mine was a 7 out of 10.
That's crazy. I'm trying to get back into my own shoes back then of, like, receiving that text, and I just look down. I'm just
remember-
like, I'm fucking soggy.
Yeah.
Like, this is absolutely great. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. It was only a 7 out of 10 for free.
I don't know why I like playing the asshole. It's just
Just soaking wet shawarma-less, 7 out of 10. That's crazy.
Speaking of shawarmas, though, the falafel place.
Oh yeah, it's so fucking good.
Oh yeah. Have you
Yeah,
tried the new? Oh, you're
the new
vegetarian,
shawarma, right? Well, on and off, but
Oh, okay.
He's
okay.
vegetarian until
Oh.
shawarma.
until
Hot
shawarma
goss.
comes
Yeah.
out.
Hot
you know?
goss.
But you tried it?
Oh my god!
Oh, it's so
It's
good,
my new
right?
go-to
Oh,
at
it's
that place,
insane.
and
It's
it's
so
so
good.
big too. It's like
Yeah.
2 feet long.
Oh yeah.
It's nuts.
It's so good.
I don't get it, but it's sick.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
That's what we did last week before this.
nice.
Got
Yeah.
the falafel place, and
It does take a little longer to make, but
Yeah.
it's so worth it.
yeah,
so
absolutely it is. Yeah.
Goddamn.
Yeah, that with the red sauce. Oh my god.
It's dangerous.
Oh my god.
Gain a few pounds off of that.
Oh yeah.
Have you had it?
Yeah, I had
Oh,
it
okay.
last week.
Nice.
It's really fucking good. I don't know. It's that store is really good. I don't know how they keep those prices so low. It's actually kind of nuts.
They've actually bumped them up. I remember
Just-
when they first opened, the falafel
Yeah.
sandwiches were $4.
Yeah, yeah,
$6
yeah.
now, but-
They're 6
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's still,
Still
like
really good.
insane
Yeah.
compared to like a lot of things around
Ooh.
there. Speaking of which, also getting a few pounds. Workout check. How's it going?
I've been going by myself. Let the record show.
I have not. I've not been a good boy. I've missed probably like 2 or 3 weeks.
Damn.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I stay up too late playing video games, and I don't wake up
Hey.
early enough for
Hey.
this.
Hey, as long as the elo is going up, that's
Exactly.
better, brother.
Well, I
Hell
do my
yeah.
like daily push-ups. and
Those are the
sit-ups,
real
but,
gains,
like,
for sure, for sure.
You know, no real weights. No real weights.
For sure.
We need to do this. Start it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I personally haven't been inside the gym this week, but I've just done a lot more running outside. So
No, I actually, yeah, I've been going. I started I really started up again Monday, but yeah, I've been consistent again. I forced myself out of bed, and I think I said this to you now. Like Zelda just knows the schedule where I wake up at 5 a.m. She like looks at me, she goes back to sleep. I just come back from work. I come back from working out. If I come back at 6, like 45ish. She does not move until 7 a.m. That dog is so fucking spoiled. She just sleeps on a bed.
Do you take her out when you wake up, or after you come back?
I used to. She does not move.
You
She
just
like
need it?
literally just sleeps. She's knocked the fuck out. In fact, she'll get upset with me if I pet her.
Let me sleep.
Ah.
Do you think she's calmed down as she's grown older?
Oh, dude, she's so much calmer. I don't like. She was. So there was 3 phases. Puppy, she was just teeth. And then she became super duper active, where if you woke up in the middle of the night and you made one sound that was not "I'm asleep" sound, it is now playtime, and I demand as much attention from you as possible. But now she's just a lazy girl. Like, I'll wake up at 5, she'll like look over, and she goes back to sleep. And now sometimes when I come back from like for lunch, she's just in her dog bed, and she doesn't even greet me at the door. She's like, just like, what the fuck, man? It's a lazy little dog. It's good. It's easier for me for sure. But she was a little nightmare for a little while.
Have you guys met the dog?
Yeah.
He has.
I haven't.
I know. I even brought her to the rooftop. The social.
Social? What social?
Not the previous one. The one before.
You've been to a social?
Yeah, the one before.
The one before?
I never fucking go to these things.
I didn't go to the last one.
Except for the one that Will doesn't go to.
God
Yeah,
damn it.
Drew was there. Like, she met Drew and Thomas. And,
Rub
like,
it in. Rub it in.
You're welcome. No, I thought you
Is
were
there a
there.
terbium trapper at UCLA other than Will that hasn't met Zelda?
Wow, that's so specific.
A Tarbian rapper? No. Even the Cole met her.
My brother set up a when to meet.
Yeah.
Ever
So,
since.
no way. So no. Actually, he's 100% right, because I will take pictures of Zelda when I'm at the park with her at UCLA, and I'll post it in the Discord. And then Michael goes, "She's so cute. Oh, I want to meet her." And then
And I've
he
done this for
lives.
like 2 years now. Like,
Yeah.
I
He
haven't met-
lives literally like 5 minutes away from the park, and I know he's not doing shit because he's like
playing video games.
he's playing
you know,
video
like-
games. So he just has to get up and walk across. And his brother used to flame me. He's like, "Oh, you don't tell him when you're there." I'm like, "No, these are live photos." And since then, his brother just shits on Michael the whole time.
He made a went to
made
me.
a went to me for Michael, so I can film
Okay,
it.
making a went to meet for other people is fucking fire.
No, his brother is the funniest person on Discord. Like, he will use memes to communicate with you, like little gifs, like little meme gifs. So sometimes he'll even join a Discord call. He won't say
talk.
anything. He'll just post memes
Or
in the
use
Discord.
great.
The new music bot, not music bot.
Oh, the audio
Oh,
bot.
God.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
I
the
hate those
soundboard.
things.
Yeah,
Fucking
the
hate the
soundboard, yeah.
soundboard.
Soundboards are great.
Oh god.
You're the old, are you a soundboard great?
I've muted.
I
him.
muted it too.
I've muted him.
No way, really?
No, because I hate my friends. I'm playing a game, like I'm playing anything, or I'm watching a show, and then all of a sudden they fucking join, and it's just like the JoJo sound, and I'm like, shut the fuck up! What are you doing?
You made him miss like 3 CS for that.
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
hate it. Another guy plays Requiem for a Dream every time he joins.
That's a really funny bit, to be fair. Okay, for me, I muted the soundboard, but mostly because so I don't really join voice chat on my like WoW guild that I'm barely a part of. But the few times I've been in there, the thing is people have like sound clipped each other's quotes all the time, and so
Oh,
the
yeah.
soundboard is a bunch of like out of context quotes that
Oh,
they have,
yeah.
which is really insane.
Oh yeah.
That's so sick.
We never filled out that went to me.
I did. I did.
Oh my
you.
god, he said
Well,
we.
you know,
No,
I'm-
he
I'm
said
the
we.
reason.
Oh,
Do
dude.
you remember why? Because I clicked on it and I'm like, okay, I'll log in, and then your brother is like, no, there's no need to log in, just
just
fill it
fill
out.
out the
So I filled it out.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh,
I guess it's
dude.
on me now. Balls in my court.
That's wow.
Literally.
That's like absolutely checkmate. You have no out. I'm
I
sorry.
can't complain about
No,
not seeing
my-
your dog anymore.
Actually, one of my favorite things, one of the things I noticed whenever we play League together with your brother, is that no one flames anybody. And then your brother,
My brother just starts
your
wars
brother
out of
starts
nowhere.
fighting like for no reason.
His demons or who?
No, well, we're playing. And I think there was a game where I was like 4-0 top lane. I'm doing fine, and then I miss a cannon just because like I wasn't.
Oh,
paying
is he like the
attention.
jungler or something?
Huh?
Is your brother the jungler
No,
or
he's playing-
something?
I think he usually plays mid, right?
Oh.
If you're not there, he usually plays top. But
Oh.
in that
Oh, I
game,
thought
I
he-
think he was mid.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least when he plays with me, he plays mid, and then like he I don't. He has his own fucking lane to deal with, by the way. So like he's playing in his lane, and I miss one CS, and again I press back, and he goes, "I saw that you missed one CS. What the fuck's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's so fucking funny."
I was playing with him yesterday, and I was going up against Zed for the first time.
Oh, nice.
Mid game, I get a Discord message from him. It's a YouTube link saying things you should look out for Zed, like how to counter. I'm like, bro, we're in the middle of the game. I can't watch this right now.
That's so funny. Wait. Does he? So he's like played a lot, like since
He's
when?
played since 2013, I think, or something.
Holy
yeah,
shit.
he's been a while.
OG. Goddamn.
my
What rank is he?
God,
I
so old.
was he Emerald? I think he hit. I don't know if he hit Emerald or not.
I think he hit
Or
Emerald.
I can't remember.
I know for a fact
One
he's
and
he's
two.
like platinum above.
Yeah. So he's been playing for a while.
Wow.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
You guys have a full Clash team?
Yes. We actually have a full
Like
Clash
Clash of
team with a
Clans?
sub,
No. So like Clash is
like ranked team, like a full.
Oh,
well, like
yeah.
Clash is like kind of different from like Flex. So there's Flex Queue, which is like ranked.
Yeah.
That is like for any multiple of players except for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also Clash, which is like I don't know how the schedule works, but it's like every like I don't know once or twice a month. There's like a whole event, and like you can have like a team logo and like a team like
Oh, wow.
acronym, and like you can queue up.
So before this was called ranked team. That's where my thing TSQ comes from. But continue.
Yeah. So like there's basically this feature was like really looked forward to and on launch. Like they weren't expecting like as like much population, I guess, but their servers just absolutely like shit the bed. Anyway, now it's just like a recurring thing that's kind of cool. Like you play in like a whole bracket system, and you before every game you can like scout out like the enemy team in the sense of like, oh, they'll show their IGN, so you can like look up their history, their match history, and like what they play.
So it's like somebody's a one trick, you'd ban that champion.
Like me, I just get banned out every game.
Who do you play?
So I'm a bot main. I'm a one trick.
Yeah.
That's true. That's fair. I'm an Ezreal one trick. I used to play more Vayne and Kai'Sa, but they all kind of got nerfed. But like they're coming back. I'm getting into the specifics. Kai'Sa's coming back a little bit. Yeah. But like Ezreal's in like a pretty solid space right now. Anyway, I've been looking for like a Clash team. I think it'd be really fun to play like fives. It's just the thing is like I play with my friend group and we have fun, but I think there is
Join.
I think the
fucking try hard.
Well, the thing is the rank disparity is like really big, and I feel like people like to play, but they don't necessarily like to think about like, oh, like what are some like actual like constructive criticism to receive or give out. I think like that's fine to play that way, but like also recognizing that that is a limiting factor to whether or not you're gonna like improve is like tough for some people to I guess like
I think our
accept.
Group is pretty good about that. I think everybody tryhards.
Yeah, I think so.
Other than like, no, I think everybody tryhards. Other than me occasionally, where I just don't give a shit if it's a normal game.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be fun.
But yeah, we have like enough with like a whole sub. I think we have like 6 players.
I will say, I think the unfortunate fact has crossed my mind that although I hit Emerald last week, this is so painful to say, but I might want to push past this point. I might want to push past this tier. Which
you want to get into Diamond?
Really fucking bad, yeah. I've never been. Okay.
Wonderful. So you were talking about making a push for Diamond.
Yeah, so I don't know why I want this. This is very bad news for myself, really, that I want this. And I know it, but the thing is, right, so like the great ranked squish happened towards the end of 2023. And basically what happened was the distribution of ranks in League has always been kind of different from other games, where people will place like their median generally in gold, like Overwatch or like other games. Generally speaking, everyone sits in gold, but in League for the longest time, the gigantic portion of the population sits in silver and like maybe like also bronze. Like that's maybe like 80% of ladder, which is like nuts, first of all. So to sort of like help alleviate that feeling a little bit, they first started by making an iron rank, which is one below bronze, which is like, okay, I guess you like, you know, cut some like population out of bronze, which is like fine. But then also instead of, you know, then they still have most of their player base in silver. And so what they do instead is, because the median is so gigantic in silver, they instead split it up and like cut population out of that and like basically shifted the entire ranked ladder this way a little bit. So what I mean is now like silver 5 to silver 1, like old League, is now like all the way from like in the current tier system, I believe like the bottom of silver corresponds to like somewhere currently in bronze, all the way up to I think like I almost want to say like plat 4 is like old silver 1, which is crazy.
Oh yeah. We looked at this before.
We have looked at this.
It was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So it's like ELO inflation.
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of sort of. Or I think it's like gold something.
It's not ELO inflation because they didn't boost anybody. They just changed the emblem. So you're still playing against the same players you did before.
I see.
It just you're in a different
rank.
Yeah, you have like a different rank but they added a new rank, so really you're still in the same rank.
Well,
it's
the thing is like silver. I think I misspoke. So silver is now old silver is now spread across current bronze, silver, and gold because there's just that many players in silver, and so like they flatten out the top a bit. But the problem is that now gold, old gold now corresponds to the like current gold, and then like bottom of platinum, and then emerald 4, which is where I'm currently at, right? And Emerald 3 directly corresponds to Platinum 4, which is where I stopped playing in high school. And so I peaked out at the bottom of Plat 2. And of course I go back and I look at the chart. I'm like, Plat 2, where's that? Where possibly could that be? It's current Diamond 4. So I'm like, well, it's a long road ahead.
I think the highest rank I got in League was old Plat 1. And then my EU West account is like, I still play with it. I play with my friends, but right now is in current Plat. So.
Banned for saying horrendous things. Gotcha.
No, actually, that's listen. I crush the mental of my opponents by just putting question mark, enter.
True. Yeah.
do
So
shit.
I
gonna
think
ban
the
me
best
for it.
way for anyone else who's grinding this game, I think it's best to think about everyone, enemies and allies included. If you're solo queuing as NPCs.
Take them hostage.
No, deadass.
Oh,
it's NPCs.
Yeah.
No,
Cool,
it's deadass
cool.
NPCs.
They literally are fucking stupid.
It was like, okay, you queue in and then like you maybe give first kill and then your jungler immediately is like bot gap. I'm like, oh, I run into this NPC again. Okay,
Yeah.
well I'm just gonna mute them and like keep playing.
Yeah, I've played with junglers who would go like, it's time to farm top lane, and then they're literally doing dragon. And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing top lane? Like, while they're doing dragon, he did not go there. He's like, my time is better spent
That's
farming
totally
my
fair.
laner's minions. No worries.
Yeah.
Dude,
So like you're not gonna be able to filter out like the intingness of your NPC teammates, right? Or the NPC like enemies as well, right? But the thing is like something I always believed in, also always back in high school, is like if you're like good enough compared to the tier, you can like just be the difference maker solo, regardless of role, right? But I was thinking about this like if for me to push past my current point, I feel like it'd have to be like not just like, oh, just grind out more games and then I'll get there. I can already feel like the difference between this tier and like the previous tier, where before I was like kind of like stomping my like opponents. Now I'm like, oh, I'm kind of getting hands checked. And so like I think pure mechanics isn't going to get me further. So I might have to do like the correct way of
Game
improving.
analysis.
I might have to do VOD review and stuff like that. But I don't know, like
Might
as
just say
someone who's
something.
been like in the top,
Yeah,
the
how do
tippy
you do
top,
it?
like I don't know how you like do
VOD
it. You know?
reviewing and coaching. I think just being in
Is
that,
coaching really good?
Oh, 100%. Like, in Overwatch 1, I was peaking like high platinum, low diamond, and I just could not get past that rank. And then towards the tail end of Overwatch 1, my friend told me about this DPS boot camp.
No shot.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Let's try it. Because, I mean, at the time, I'd been playing the game for, maybe 4 or 5 years. I'm like, I know the game. I'm not going to learn anything from this boot camp coaching session. But, like, I go in there, and this guy starts talking. He's a pro-level grandmaster. And I'm like, oh, I never thought about playing the game this way, Yeah, you know what each character does. You know how they play. But how you actually play, take advantage of, cooldowns going off, corners, and knowing your actual primary targets to go for, and like just the macro side of stuff, it boosted me up to masters at the tail end of Overwatch 1, and then continuing that through esports and having an actual coach VOD review weekly as well. You see where you're making mistakes or how you can play better, and then next time you play on that specific map, you're like, oh, I remember doing this last time and it didn't work out, so let me try what we were talking about in VOD reviews, and lo and behold, it works better. You win fights, you know who to go for, and slowly but surely, you start noticing you're climbing. And then I hit Grandmaster and then top 500 finally. Like, okay. I mean, of course, throughout the time, you're also practicing your mechanics. There's the whole aim training I was talking about. But just the game IQ, understanding how to play the game is also extremely important.
Do you VOD review solo queue, or is it only like your team games?
I've done like solo VOD reviews every once in a while, but it's much better when you're doing it as a team, especially if you're playing in that competitive scene. Because that way, not only do you learn your own mistakes, you also learn your teammates' and how you can help each other. Because at the end of the day, it is a team game, so you need to be able to step up and help each other when someone isn't doing well, or make sure you remind them, okay, we need to do this. Let's fight plan for this next coming up fights. What ults do we need to use? What cooldowns do they have? How do we engage? So I think it's better when you're doing that team environment VOD review, but if you're just personally trying to climb ladder, you know, I still think it's beneficial. But having that coach on the site to give you this sort of outside take on how to play the game, because you doing it yourself, you might be biased towards things or you might miss stuff. If you have someone else take a look, I think that's extremely helpful, especially if you're trying to climb.
Hell yeah. Okay, good tips.
Also, just like kill your ego.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
For sure.
It's so tough sometimes, but you just gotta kill your fucking ego.
Yeah, for sure. I think like as someone who's grinded like probably one of the most toxic games, I actually feel like I've somehow been able to keep a really positive mental for playing like this kind of game. I will say, transitioning over to like a different kind of game, the thing that actually like I think two classes of games that really get like me upset are FPS and also fighting games. Like
don't fighting games make me a fucking
okay.
I'm not a person. I'm such a piece of shit.
So the problem,
if you think me doing question mark hit enter in League is BM, oh fuck, dude. Yeah. You don't want to see me on Smash.
So the problem is I feel like the raw like sort of skill floor, the execution is like too hard for me in the sense of like like maybe you have some sort of macro knowledge in both of these games of like, oh, I can tell this guy wants the ult really badly or like use it special. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna set up a block or something. But I think being able to punish like mistakes of the opponents is really hard when like, oh, like this guy is totally peeking, I'm gonna like, you know, get a shot on him. I totally just whiff everything and I'm like, okay, well, that's really upsetting to me. I mean, same thing with the fighting game of like, okay, so this combo starts off with like back quarter turn B or something, and then I like whiff and I like do like a bottom jab instead or something like that. So I feel like I guess maybe because I've just played League for so long, the base execution is never so bad. So I think I'm able to be a little bit more like, like I messed up here and like this is like my macro mistake for the game, and this is how, you know, even though top is like feeding or something, like I could have done something here and here. Whereas like the logical extreme is like those games in the sense of like I knew when to punish, but I just like couldn't do it.
Yeah, the Age of Empires is even worse. It makes you feel so bad. Is it because Age of Empires is kind of like a lot of the civs, unless you're playing very specific ones, a lot of the civs kind of play in a really weird fashion. They kind of fall into three different camps. There's booming civs, which basically like want to kind of get Spiral out of control. Like they're pretty weak, but like once they get going, their value engine just churns out troops. And there's other ones that are like a lot of early aggro and so on. But I really like playing civs as something called timed attack, where you're strong at like very specific moments of the game and no one can stop you. But if you fuck up your timed attacks, you're not good enough to stop them at any of their strong points. So as a result, and I like playing those civs a lot because I just like time attacks. My brain just really likes to jive with them. But when I miss a time attack, or like I walk into the Chinese base, for example, and I notice that like, oh, I completely fucked this up. Like I waited 30 seconds too long, and he noticed what I was doing, and he just fully built a counter army because China can just pump out units. But like literally, if I went in 30 seconds ago, I could have destroyed his barracks. And just, I want to rip my hair out, and I get so fucking upset.
Yeah, I guess that's another element of these sort of like one-on-ones of like, there's no teammates to blame.
No,
there's no any other variants. It's literally just my own fault. Maybe that's why it hits so much harder too. Damn.
But I don't know. I fighting games, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's so rough. Or when you like misread someone ledge grabbing in Smash, and you're like, oh, you're gonna do, like you see them. You know, you see them, they're playing Fox or whatever, and you're like, there's no fucking way in hell they're gonna side B this because it's a suicide. You're gonna, like, they're gonna do an up B, and then you jump and like you attack the top, but no, they actually did a side B, and you're like, this person sucks so much ass, and I thought he was a better player, and I just did the thing that a better player would do, and I get punished for it, and I hate my life.
You know, that's a big problem in Overwatch.
Yeah.
You have these higher ranked good players play with lower elo players. Those games sometimes are much harder than the higher ranked ones because people in lower ranks, you can't predict what they're going to do.
I was
They're
gonna
just
say,
so bad, and you're like, you would never expect them to do that. And as a higher ranked player, like, okay, you know, and any normal player would be doing this right about now. But no, it makes it so much more difficult.
It's actually so funny because like I feel like that it kind of applies to League sometimes too. But I guess the added benefit of like League is like it's kind of an econ game, so you know eventually you'll just have more gold. But I think that's really funny because of like there's like you expect this, there should be like this step in the flowchart, but because like they're bad. They could just be anywhere
There's
in
no
there.
flowchart.
Yeah, exactly.
Or as Sun Tzu said, if you don't know your plan, they don't know your plan.
This is something I experienced in Heroes of the Storm too. But,
So
like
true.
for real, it would be like I'm playing like a tank, right? And it's like it's time to fucking fight, and like all the dudes are just in their lanes,
They're
and
just
they're
hanging
just like
out.
doing their thing, and I'm like, well, we're gonna lose. But
So where did you get to in the HOTS? Like I don't know. Did you play ladder?
Yeah, is there like
yeah, I got to like Platinum 2 or something like that.
Sheesh.
Damn.
Who'd you play?
I played mostly tanks. So I'd play Johanna, or ETC.
ETC.
I don't know. Who
Oh,
Yeah.
that's like an entire band, right?
Yeah, well, it's the
Is it just the
lead
Minotaur?
singer. It's the guitarist from
Oh.
the elite Tauren chieftain ETC. It's a
It's a
Tauren.
fun-
He's a tank. He's got like a slide, and
I
a stun, a
am
knockback,
sad that
and then
we-
like a giant fuck all stun.
I'm sad that Musaf is just hanging out in the Barrens.
It is a little sad, yeah.
It's up to you to fix that. Get him out, brother.
I mean, I haven't touched. I've played my solo one. I've played my solo Orc Hunter, but I haven't played Musaf.
Yeah,
Is
it's
this your
been
guys'
cool.
WoW?
Yeah,
This is
wow,
our
wow,
hardcore
our adventure. Yeah,
I miss-
we have a list of our.
Well, it's because he went back to with his actual guild. He has.
Yeah, new patch came out, so.
New
He
patch
just
dropped.
he actually
He
evaporated.
just said you guys weren't good enough for him.
No, he literally
That's not at all what it
evaporated.
is. It
I
just was-
I think I also was a part of the problem because I played so much like solo hardcore on my own too, which was pretty fun. But also it was more so that like I try so hard to not just play one class. But then I just play the one class.
My undead warrior, she died recently because I unironically died in the elevator.
Yes.
put
It
her
was so
put her
sad.
put her on the
Put
put
her
her on the
wall,
sheet.
yeah.
I
She
don't
goes
remember her name. I have to look it up. I have to.
No,
I mean, it's
that's
been, like,
fucked
a little-
up.
Oh my god.
You didn't delete, right?
I don't think I deleted her.
Then she's still. Like,
Yeah, I said I can just go check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But elevator death. It was really painful.
My solo run made it pretty far though. I think I am level 39 on my rogue.
Crap.
Yeah. I almost died so many times solo. Holy shit. It was absolutely like I think the gameplay on average is very slow, but like taking into account that like if I aggro one too many things, I could just be like dead and like that many hours of gameplay out. It's stress I didn't need. And to explain this, like I've told these two already, but like it was getting to a point where like I would actually have dreams a little bit too frequently of like my hardcore character just dying. No, seriously. Hey.
I know,
Okay,
I
it's
know.
a very specific moment. Okay. No. Let me get into this. Okay, so Rogue, the reason why they're so like broken as a solo is because generally speaking, if you get aggro on something in WoW, especially classic, running away from it if it's higher level than you is like pretty much impossible. Like solo.
Yeah, you start like slowed.
Yeah, if they hit your back, you get slowed. Not that many classes have like good CC where you can like start moving away from them. Well, maybe like except for mage or something. But rogue specifically has a lot of CC, and even if they're low on resources, they have a panic button called vanish. So you literally like pop into stealth like immediately. You normally can't do that, and then everything around you drops aggro, and then they go back to like their original zones, right? But the problem is to unlock this feature, and like also a lot of upgrades in classic WoW. You have to do like these really difficult like quests, like class specific quests, and one of them specifically you have to like scale this tower. And like the thing is, this is like just a 3-level tower. It's not too crazy, but like each one of those floors has like a type of monster that'll just one-shot you unless you know their specific weakness. So like these things are like permanently gonna be like 3 levels higher than you, but like the first floor, it's like if you like use this specific kind of stun on them, they get like 1 shot. This one, if you like blind them or something, then they get 1 shot, or they turn into much weaker enemies or something. The specific moment I remember is like you scale the tower, I made it, and I'm at the boss, right? And then like my first attempt fighting him, we were like getting low. I'm popping all of my consumables that I think I have on me, and we're getting low. And like a big problem with Classic is that like there's always like a parry chance. So like a stronger enemy, especially if they're higher level than you, they just have a chance to just parry your attack. Nothing happens. Okay, so I'm fighting the boss. He's dipping below 50% first. I'm like, fucking easy, dude. I got this guy. Not even close. What are you talking about? And then he's like dipping to like.
Do you see your hands on the keyboard? Like,
No.
are you in front of your computer playing?
No,
or is
no,
this
no,
like
no, no.
some
He
fucked
walks
up
his
thing
computer and
you
starts
are in?
No. I'm
Stabbing.
No, it hasn't gone that bad. I'm still very much watching from third person.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay, but I remember this moment. Okay, holy shit. Because so for further context, I already had tried to have 2 other rogues solo, and they both died. This is like my furthest run so far. This guy's like level 20. He's gonna be the guy. Anyway, so he starts dipping low, like to 30%. I'm like at 50. I'm like, okay, this is like kind of close. Let me just like stun him for a bit, and I'll like patch up, and then I'll like keep fighting him down. And then he's dipping. He's at like 5%. I'm like, oh, but also I look at my own health bar. I'm like 2 auto attacks away from dying. I'm like, holy fuck this. And then like I sprint is like another panic button where you don't drop aggro, but you just literally run away extremely fast.
70%.
So
the animation sucks too.
It's
It's just the legs move at the same speed, but like it's just fast.
Yeah. So I'm literally just like, well, the funny thing is like you're at the roof of this tower, right? And it's just like a small porch. And the thing is, it's not super high. You're gonna take a lot of fall damage. So from the outside POV, if you're just like watching this tower, there's like you hear some clanging noise up top, and then some random troll with like 5 HP flies off the top and runs the fuck away. And then like the problem is like the boss fight takes so long that like the mobs on the bottom respawn, and so they're also like, oh, we're the type of guys that like one shot you unless you have the specific resource for us. So I'm like running away from those guys too the entire way. And so my dream version of this is like 7 different ways this goes wrong, and I'm just dead.
I love how it's so incredible. No, I really enjoyed. I like playing hardcore anyways. I think I played like Dark Souls hardcore. I just don't give a shit. Like I die, I'm like, oh, I guess I have to redo it. But I remember when I was playing on my Undead Warrior. I don't know why. I think I needed help with killing 1 boss, and then Patrick joins my game, and this is the character that I'm running by myself. So it's not a character that we're all sharing. So I don't really care that much. Like about I'm not as safe as I play with the other one. So I just go like I barrel into enemies and I start fighting them.
Dude, the amount of stress that I had in this
he was so stressed out.
Because you're healing him, or
Yeah,
I mean, he
like
was
a priest. Yeah,
oh my god.
Yeah, he
I'm a
was.
priest. And he's by you know the undead area, right?
Yeah,
Like
like
all
where
the
the
Murlocs are. Holy fucking!
Wow, that was so
shit.
insane.
Yeah, like it's so
you don't
want to
fuck with the Murlocs.
And the guy, he's just like, you know, there's a group of casters like right here, and then there's like a melee guy, and he's like,
he runs.
oh, I'm just gonna get the melee guy, and he like charges the melee guy, and all the casters are like lightning bolt, and I'm like, Hassan, please.
Wait, is this how he dies?
No,
Oh.
no, I did fine. Dude.
Oh, sick.
And he was losing his mind. He's like, "How did you live that?" Oh, like a good bitch. What's your favorite WoW hardcore?
My favorite memory?
Yeah.
Getting you fucking killed in
Yeah.
small
Oh
corner.
my
Our
God.
first
You
our
know
first
this?
characters.
This is the greatest betrayal, and he tried so hard to like act like nothing, that it was not his fault. So let me set the scene. Okay. We're like level 3, level 3 or 4.
We're really low.
It's
We're
7.
like really low.
We're level
It was like
7.
maybe an hour.
We're 7
level
or 8.
7.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, we're like an hour or two in.
Yeah.
We're an hour or two in. You can actually see this on my stream. I have the VOD still.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
We're an hour or
Put it
two
up,
in.
the video.
And we go to the next section of the map, and we have to kill these birds that can stun you. And then another thing that you have to kill you. Basically, the big thing is the birds can stun you.
Yeah.
They're very
I
dangerous.
still remember this.
Yes.
Birds are really bad,
Yes.
yeah.
Will and
called
I,
swoops.
we noticed we can take out 2 creatures at once, and it's been fine.
Yeah.
Not 3, just 2.
Yeah.
And then Will and I both literally hear each other in comms go, these 2, and we're like, yeah. So I go on one, and Will goes on the other. And then all of a sudden, like I hit my stun on the bird, and I need him to hit the fucking bird. And all of a sudden,
there's a third bird.
this guy goes, oh, there's a third bird. And he runs away, and then the bird comes to me, stun, hit, the other one comes out of stun. I'm like, I can live, stun, and I fucking die.
So like I feel like I kind of close because like I don't really play mana classes, and it's also like classic, so I'm like, you know, I should be able to cast things from range, but like I'm out of resource, so I'm just walking up and I'm
he's
batting with my
whacking.
stick really
Yeah.
stupidly. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then off in the distance, I see Patrick running away. I'm like, Patrick, like I don't think we can.
Yeah,
and
he
then
didn't even mention it. He was running before anything.
Yeah,
bad
yeah,
happened.
I was very confident that we could handle it.
I know you
I
were.
was very
That's the
confident.
problem.
That's
Yeah.
it was.
Good, but I was
But
like,
by the
Patrick, I don't
time-
think we can do that.
By the time the third swoop got back to the group, and I saw that your mana was at 0,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
his rage was at 0,
Yeah.
and he was also stunned by the other bird. I
Yeah.
was like, this was a mistake. Whoops.
and rather than kite it off yourself, you bring it back to the group.
Hell yeah. We have a tank. We have a whole ass tank.
We have nothing.
Nothing. And then he spent like a solid hour going, oh no, it's it's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it was such a good time. Yeah.
That was hardcore. So
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
restart it. Oh my god.
Honestly, the game it's very addictive. It's like a fucking problem.
It's a good time. I mean, classic WoW is a good time.
Mhm.
It's a good time. It will eat every second that you have on this planet, though. So
It's just like so interesting to me how like different, all the different versions of the game they have out right now.
Oh yeah.
Like specifically classic versus like current retail. So if you don't know retail, there's like kind of more of like a, I guess like e-sporty element to it, in the sense of like, oh, you have like top guilds like trying to complete like this content in like the fastest time or whatever.
Arena also.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
PvP is also a thing.
Yeah,
Compared to
PvP is crazy.
classic, where like, I guess like it's not as important about like there is endgame content, but like the entire journey there takes so goddamn long that like you can't help but to like I guess create stories like on the way there.
Mhm.
And so it's like much more about the journey than like the gameplay.
Have you heard of Tiny Violin? This will be the last thing.
Oh.
No, is
My
this World
hero.
of Warcraft?
This is a Patrick story.
My
Yeah.
absolute hero, Tiny Violin. Okay, so Tiny Violin. There's this guild. This is before the official hardcore servers came out, right? So
It was like I think it's like just before the official hardcore service came out too, right?
just before. Yeah, this story broke like after they had announced them, and after the hardcore servers were on like PTR or something, and they were like coming out. And there's this guild, and they're trying to do the hardcore run, right? Before hardcore is a thing, right? And they are in the last raid.
So just I think one thing for the rules of the hardcore run is that
Oh,
it's an
right.
honor system thing.
Yeah.
So if you die, you will delete your own account.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
that
your
is
character,
it
yeah,
is
you
an
delete that
honor
character.
system thing,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
Because there was no infrastructure that like enforced the death.
And like no trading items
yeah,
or
no
like
yeah.
gold you had on your character.
Yeah, you have to go through the character like the actual merchants in game. You can only collect gold
Sure,
from.
okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that's it. I just wanted to clarify that. But go ahead.
Yeah, and there's an add-on as well that like when you die, it announces it. It'll blast it to your whole guild. Like this person died at this place. These are their last words. This is what they died to this damage, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, so they're in the last raid, right? And they're at the third to last boss in the last raid. And this boss is unique in the sense that it's not just one boss, but there are 4 of them. All of them are with separate health pools. And in essence, you have to take each of these guys and hold them in their own corners of a square room, right? You can't get too close to each of them because when you get too close to one of them, they start to apply a debuff to you that increases the damage you take from their abilities. So there's a certain point where you have to like switch which one you're fighting to not take too much damage, and etc. And there's one of these bosses. His name is Sir Zeliek, and his ability is a chain lightning, right? So essentially what it is if you're too close, if your whole group is too close and he chain lightnings you, they all get zapped. You all get absolutely fucking annihilated, right? And the other boss that's right next to him in the room is Baron Rivendare, and his ability is calling a meteor from the sky, right? And the meteor will do a fuckload of damage to anybody right there, but it's split damage. So the more people you have grouped up to soak the meteor, right, the better off you are, because that means the overall health, decrease for each person.
It's like it does 1 million damage.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
In essence, this is like
that.
sort of like the basis for a lot of like AoE damage in WoW.
Yes.
Which is like, oh, this is a big fire circle, don't stand in a circle. But other times it's like, oh, you need to all soak this meteor together, or else like, the
One
entire
single
raid takes
person
hella
makes
damage.
it.
So
That's right. So there's a person in this raid, right? Their name is Tiny Violin.
A god, a king, a hero.
And he's playing the warrior class, right? And warrior class has two ways of getting the boss's attention, right? They have something called taunt, which is just literally a, hey, look at me, and they look at you, and you go to the top of the threat table, right? And then they have something called mocking blow, which essentially does the same thing. So what Tiny Violin does is he looks at the boss timers, and he thinks to himself, if I bring Sir Zeliek over to Rivendare, right about now, I can get him to chain lightning while they're grouping up for the meteor, and I can kill everybody that's there.
High
in the
IQ.
meteor.
So like, let me
So-
wait. How many people? How many men raid is this?
There's 40 people in a
Oh
raid.
my
right?
gosh.
And
So
they've made
there
it
are
through all the
40
content.
Yeah, there's 40 human beings,
Who
right? That are
who grinded to get to the last boss.
yeah, which
last
I
raid,
believe
sorry.
it's like on average like 2,000 hours
Per
character. I
Jesus
think,
Christ.
in the raid.
That's
like,
disgusting.
It's so much time they've invested.
And just
in
an
this.
insane amount of gold and
Oh,
effort. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy amount of all their personal resources. So what he does is he taunts Sir Zeliek, like just after the pull, right? Taunts Sir Zeliek, and Zeliek's running over, right? One of the other tanks notices what's happening, right? He's like, what the fuck is Zeliek doing over there, right? So he taunts him back, right? Tiny Violin, not to be discouraged, goes for the mocking blow. And Zeliek keeps coming. He keeps coming towards Baron, and all of the people at Baron are like, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. I can't see. I'm not looking at what's happening. I'm just stacked up for my meteor, and everything's fine. I'm standing and hitting the boss. I'm so happy. And then all of a sudden, Sir Zeliek is like fucking Zeus. And he just absolutely nukes everybody in the Baron pile, right? So like half the raid is just gone, right? And the tank is dead because the chain lightning. So like Baron is off, like just fucking up melee people, and like the people in the back that are on the other two bosses are like, what happened?
Yeah.
And so tiny like a few people are lucky enough to
You
escape.
should after this you should look up the video because it is
it's
so
good.
funny.
Oh, no, it's so good.
You weren't in this.
No.
Oh, I see.
This is
Okay,
a
okay.
famous event now.
Gotcha.
Continue.
Okay, gotcha.
So a few people are able to use some game mechanics in order to get away. And
Wait,
live,
really?
right?
Oh, wait, what
Yeah.
is
So
it?
there's a thing called the Flask of Petrification.
That's what it is.
And although it doesn't like basically take you like out of combat, it makes you immune to damage. And if you like leave the group and then Flask of Petrification, the petrification lasts long enough so that you'll get teleported out of the dungeon before the damage immunity goes away. So it doesn't protect you against dots, which some people found out in this instance. They had a dot on them that just kept ticking through the file, and they died. But like I think I could be wrong. I think like on the order of like 5 people survived out of the 40.
That's actually impressive. I thought just like if half your raid dies right there, I'm just
Yeah,
like
you get
hands off the
wiped, right?
keyboard.
Yeah, you're just
whatever.
like, I'm letting it
How
happen.
do you communicate with 40 people?
So
That's
basically,
crazy.
No, they have like
yeah.
tactical level communication. It's fucking nuts.
yeah. So, but like, I mean, by default, I would assume like how it worked in when I was raiding, at least not classic, where like raids are only like 20 people instead of 40. There is generally like a shot caller, like the raid leader, that's like mostly calling out the mechanics and timers of like, oh, Sir Zelik's gonna do the chain lightning, spread out, or like Baron Rivender's gonna do the meteor, come in, like this group come in, group 1, group 2, this type of thing. And then like there's like co-shot callers, which are generally speaking the tanks, because they're like sort of controlling generally what the boss is like positioned on your arena. Most of the time they don't really get to determine what the boss like does for the ability, but you can as a tank be like, oh, I'm gonna position him here so the melee can hit him really nice, or like the range can hit him really nice. So I guess like imagine just a Discord channel of like 40 people and everyone's on push to talk, and then the raid leader is the only one who's like not push to talk and just like talking the entire time.
Yeah.
But after this, he had an interview.
Yeah,
this is my favorite part.
Yeah, after this, he got on some calls basically with some folks that have seen what went down, and in essence, he took no responsibility for what happened.
He said it was an accident, and I believe him.
Yeah, he said that it was
No shot. He didn't say it was an accident, did he?
I don't think that he ever said that it was an accident. He just very clearly would not take responsibility for what.
No, I thought he said, he's like, nah, bro. The second one, I was at the top of the threat table, anyways. Even if I didn't mocking blow, he's following me. Like he said some stupid shit like that.
Maybe I'd have to really rewatch it. But essentially, he goes on to like deflect from any direct questions about what happened, and instead like kind of takes the role of like a messiah in a way. And he's like, the people in this guild didn't take hardcore seriously enough. Some of them participated in battlegrounds and they died in battlegrounds,
Which is the PvP thing.
Yeah, their characters died and they should have deleted, or like, you know, things like that basically. Or like, you know, some people use the auction house, some, you know, he basically was like, I have determined that it is not hardcore. This run wasn't hardcore anyway, and the things that happened are just a result of judgment being passed down upon these people.
Yeah.
He
And
took
that
on
day-
God's judgment.
That day was Judgment Day.
I
And
feel so
those
bad for
people
the
in the guild
interviewers.
got-
Yeah,
Just
he
imagine
called it
being
Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Imagine being the interviewer going like, so why did you like murder 35 people? And his response is like, well, it was Judgment Day, so of course.
Yeah,
They deserved they weren't good enough.
They should have called into that shit.
Did the remaining 5 actually finish the raid though?
No, they fucked off, didn't they?
I don't believe
So I think this is an interesting point that Patrick has said before, which is like, not only did he sort of ruin the run, but because it wasn't official hardcore, a system they had in place was like appeal to the guild if you died. And so basically you could appeal, go like, oh, well, I died in this like starting level zone because my computer lagged or something, and then people would be like, I mean, fine, whatever, and like move on, right? But like that's an infringement, that's a sin.
Yes.
And so like
Yes.
basically
He had no chill.
Basically, he had effectively put this entire like raid team in checkmate, which is how you phrase it, and I think it's excellent because like either they're like, wow, fuck this guy, we're deleting all our characters, or all 35 of them go like, we're appealing because we have a psychopath on our team.
That's
but
right.
if they appeal,
But then they've proved his point.
exactly.
Yes.
Which is why he's so fucking cool.
Which is why he's a psychopath. Excuse you. Excuse you.
All right.
Dang.
On that note, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank
for
you, Michael,
joining us.
for being
Yeah,
with
thanks
us.
for inviting me. This was really fun.
Yeah, for describing
I
your
will put
time at
your
esports.
Twitch right here. I act like I'm able to do that.
Yeah, bonus.
I believe in you.
But
He
yeah,
promises to
regardless-
hit Challenger by the end of the year.
Yeah,
Challenge.
yeah, but regardless, there will be links in the description for your shit.
Sure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody.